Some guys seem to attract women effortlessly, while others get ignored no matter how hard they try. And most people think the difference is looks, money, or luck. But the truth is much simpler and much more psychological. The real difference. Attraction isn't always about what you have. It's often about how your behavior makes someone feel. Human beings are naturally curious. When something feels predictable and easy to understand, the brain quickly loses interest. But when something feels slightly mysterious, slightly uncertain, the brain becomes obsessed with figuring it out. That's why the men who seem to attract attention the most often follow a few subtle psychological behaviors without even realizing it. The first one is unpredictability. Most guys make the same mistake. They text constantly. They reply instantly. They try to plan everything perfectly, and they think effort alone will create attraction. But psychology shows something interesting. When someone is always available, always predictable, and always trying too hard, their presence slowly becomes ordinary. But when someone is a little harder to read, something different happens. Curiosity begins to grow. If she can't always predict what you'll say, when you'll text, or what you'll do next, her brain starts thinking about you more often. Not because you're playing games, but because unpredictability naturally creates intrigue, and intrigue is the beginning of attraction. The second principle is confidence. Confidence doesn't mean being loud, arrogant, or trying to impress everyone in the room. Real confidence is quiet. It's the man who focuses on his goals, the man who doesn't desperately seek validation, the man who moves through life with direction. People can sense this immediately. When someone looks like they're trying too hard to be liked, it often signals insecurity. But when someone seems comfortable in their own path, it creates a completely different energy. Confidence isn't something you say. It's something people feel when they're around you, and that feeling is powerful. The third psychological factor is scarcity. Human beings naturally value things that feel rare or limited. Think about it. If something is always available, always easy to get, the brain begins to treat it as less valuable. But when something becomes slightly harder to access, suddenly it becomes more desirable. The same principle applies to attention and time. When you build your own life, your own goals, your own focus, your attention naturally becomes more selective, and that scarcity increases perceived value. Not because you're manipulating anyone, but because you're living with purpose. Another powerful element is emotional curiosity. People become deeply interested in those they feel they are slowly discovering. If you reveal everything about yourself immediately, there is nothing left to explore. But when someone feels like they're gradually understanding you over time, their curiosity grows stronger. Mystery creates emotional tension, and emotional tension creates attraction. So remember this, attraction rarely comes from chasing harder. It comes from curiosity, confidence, and a life that already has direction. Be focused, be calm, be a little unpredictable, and sometimes, the less you chase attention, the more naturally it comes to you.